Hello! Today I have for you the Asus Nexus 7 unbox video. Alright, so just picked it up from Staples, so that was easy. Asus Nexus 7. I keep wanting to say Samsung because I have the Samsung Galaxy Nexus, and we can compare the two. But this is the Nexus 7 packaging. It's just a picture of the device in a 7 form and Nexus, and then just on the back it says Nexus 7, on the side I'm sorry, and Asus, and then it just describes the device a little bit on the back. Doesn't go into huge detail with like specs or anything. This is the 16 gig model, and I already purchased one yesterday, which you can see right here. They were first available yesterday at my store, and I got this one for my mom. But this is just a little bit difficult to open, so I didn't make an unboxing video at first. Now that I've done it once, I'll show you how to open, or how it is done. Alright, so I keep a little blade in my wallet all the time, and you can open this up and see how to get to it. So we got the, keeps wanting to say Samsung Nexus 7. Asus Nexus 7. We got the Asus Nexus 7 right here. And it is a little difficult to get out of the packaging. I've noticed online people had trouble with this, so just bear with me. There we go, we got the first part down, which is this, and these are sealed with tape, so that's where this comes in. And just gotta cut that open. And this, yeah, Google played a troll trick on us. They wanted to troll us with this. It says Nexus right here. Now it says solid state, so I could just shake it around. There's no hard drive in here. No, you don't really want to do that. Okay, I think I got it. So, voila! It's about to fall out. It's like taped to the damn. Look at that. Look at that. It's taped to the front of this thing. Mine was not like that yesterday. That's why it wouldn't open. Alright, so here's the device. I already showed you mine. Right here. But here's the one that came in this box. Alright, you just pull it out with this little tab on the bottom. Power, volume, up and down. On the back you've got NFC, which is great if you're pairing it with your Nexus. You just go boop, and you can share pictures and files and web pages and things like that. I only tested it with a Chrome link yesterday, but it works. And I didn't realize this was the actual NFC area, so I was just like going like this because I opened it so quickly yesterday. And but yeah, it's right there. So that's let's take this wrapping off. You can also use it for Google Wallet, which is nice. I don't believe people are gonna be taking this to the store and paying with it, but it's just nice to have it. So I'm gonna turn this on. And you're going to see Google, because it's a pure Google Nexus device, which is awesome, which means you get the newest version, and that's Jelly Bean. And I have that running on here. This is a Jelly Bean ROM for Verizon. But yeah, it's awesome. It's super fast with Project Butter. It's great on battery life, because it doesn't use your GPU at full speeds until you touch the screen. And that's, I think, a feature that they took from ROM developers. I don't know if that was originally where it came from, but that's the first time I've seen it was in custom ROMs, and I personally like that. I don't know if the developers do, and I just showed you my Wi-Fi password, but I don't know if the developers do, because they're the original. If I'm correct, they're originally the ones who made that, and I would think they would be a little mad about that. But I don't know, if I was a developer, I would think that's awesome that Google is using their idea. There you go. Authentication is required. That's a widget for Google Play Store on my purchases or whatever. That's why it's giving me the authentication is required. You need to sign into your Google account. But anywho, otherwise, this is a super fast, super fluid device. Well, it's going through the tutorial, so that's why it's a little slow. But you got the quad core. I almost said Exynos. I'm thinking Samsung for some reason. It's a quad core Tegra 3. I believe it goes up to 1.3 gigahertz at its fastest. It's got the 5th core for video and, you know, small tasks like that. That's how it gets its really good battery life. But it also has the 4 other cores for gaming and all kinds of stuff. And I have that, I think it's called Shadowrun, or I don't know if it was Shadowrun or Shadowgun or some app. It's a really big one. Let me get unlocked on my Nexus. I just got mine yesterday, so honestly I haven't rooted it yet. I haven't put anything on it in terms of a Dead Trigger, that's the app. I haven't put a whole lot of applications on it yet, but yeah, this is Dead Trigger and it uses Tegra 3. It's wicked GPU intensive, so you'll notice when you play the game, the graphics are really good for a tablet oriented game. Compared to like a console, it's almost near the same quality. I mean, that's kind of pushing it, but it is pretty good compared to previous tablet games. I mean, this is a game and it just looks pretty fantastic. I don't know if you can really see it that well, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it's the most fun game in the world. You're just shooting zombies. Kind of boring to me, but I haven't gotten into the game too much, so I can't really say much. But yeah, this device is awesome. It's only $250 for the 16 and $200 for the 8 gig. At my store, we only had the 16 gig, which that's what we wanted anyways. But if you could find one, because this was actually the last one that we had at my store, then yeah, if you could find one, I would get one. It's kind of like the HP touchpad when those sold last year, because those sold like hotcakes. I actually have one of those. So this is my HP touchpad that I got last year, and I put CyanogenMod on here, but unfortunately I tried to update it and I had SD card issues. I kept trying to fix it. I just need time to fix it, honestly. I know it's fixable, I just need time to fix it. And it's also got a crack in the screen. So to me, this is not a bad tablet, but I honestly didn't use it much because even when it was working, once I cracked the screen, I kind of just like didn't want to use it anymore. I don't know. I just lost its luster. And it's still a great device, but if you compare this is a 9.7, so this is about the same size as an iPad. If you compare it to the Nexus, this Nexus will fit about 2 devices. If you take 2 Nexus 7s, let me take them both. If you take 2 of these and you put them side by side, they take up almost the exact same size as an iPad. So you get basically half the size of an iPad, but you're getting much more powerful processor. The GPU is not going to be as good, but it's still going to be pretty good. And the operating system, personally, I like Jelly Bean. People like iOS because the apps, of course, and there's some cool features that iOS has too. But I personally like Jelly Bean. It's super fast. I've been with Android for a while. I've had iPhones too, but I don't know. I personally like Jelly Bean just because of the openness that it has. You can run apps that you download anywhere. You can, of course, it is a Nexus, so it's super easy to root and super easy to flash your ROM on here. It's just more customizable. And besides that, 2 for the price of 1 iPad. That's a pretty good deal, I would say. The only thing is, of course, you're not going to get the screen resolution that the iPad 3 has. That's a really nice, really nice screen. That is one thing that I would definitely be interested in. And also the Asus transformer, the new, I think it's a TF700, has a 1080p display with the Tegra 3. I think it's the updated one like this. That one is really nice too. That's not even really out technically, but I've been seeing some places like Office Depot, I think people were able to order them from them, and I think people are getting them on Wednesday, so that's tomorrow. So almost the same time frame as when this came out, but that's also double the price. So another factor when it comes to these tablets really is just how big and heavy these are. I mean, yeah, sure, you can hold it right now in my hand and it's no big deal, but when you're using it all the time, it's just kind of clunky. And so that's where these are really light, thin, you know, they're small, they're not in the way, they're pretty nice devices. So that's why these are a good value. And they didn't have any cases yet for mine, so I used my HP touchpad case that I got last year. It's actually a generic 10.2 inch case that you can use with anything, but I use this for now until I get a 7-inch Nexus case, because I'm not going to buy a generic one or a Nook Color or a Kindle Fire one. I want all the buttons to fit and everything. Besides that, I haven't discussed everything on the device. I mean, the speaker, this is based on, I've been using mine since yesterday, and I've been using it quite a bit. So far, I noticed that the speaker is very loud. It's a very large speaker too for such a small tablet. I think they use the same one from the Prime, Transformer Prime, because this looks about the same design, or it's something similar, but all I know is it's pretty loud for a small tablet. The screen is excellent for its size. The resolution is actually pretty high. It's almost the same as my Galaxy Nexus, which this has a 720 by 1200, I believe, or is it 1200 by 720? I don't remember the exact resolution, but it's pretty high, and this is almost the same thing. I think this one is 1200 by 700. This might be 1024 by 768, something like that. Now there is no camera on the back, but honestly, who's going to be taking a picture with a tablet? It's kind of clunky, and you don't really need it. I mean, that's why HP didn't put one on here. They only put the front-facing camera just like this, which is great for if you want to do face unlock, which actually works on this device. Face unlock, like I just unlocked it with my face, whereas on the Galaxy Nexus, I've noticed it's not really that great. So I think they put a much better camera for the front on this one. It's 1.2 megapixels, whereas on this one, I believe it's 1.3, but it's just not as good in low lighting. It could also have to do with Jelly Bean, because I know Jelly Bean, they have an upgraded face detection software algorithm where it'll actually try to detect if you're alive by like detecting your blinks and that kind of a thing. The older version, you could just take a picture of somebody and put it in front of the camera and it'll unlock. So this is more like a liveliness check. They have a setting for it. You can actually disable it or enable it. If you go into security, liveliness check, you can check that. Require eye blinking while unlocking, and it'll actually make you have to like blink. So that's a cool feature as well. There's a mic on the bottom. No, there's one on the side right here, and I think there's one. Yeah, there's one up here, so it's for noise cancellation. It's funny though because I have such a large phone. It's just 4.65 inches. So this is almost not that much bigger in terms of inches, and I just feel like I want to pick this up and call someone with it. And as weird as that is, but I just feel like it's something I could do. I mean, you could do Skype, but I was in my my friend's car yesterday, and I just wanted to call my friend on here. I was just like, this feels kind of natural, or at least use a Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth I could use with this, but of course it doesn't have a phone functionality. You could use it over Wi-Fi with SIP online calling, so you could technically do that. I don't think there's a dialer installed on here, but I'm guessing with a custom ROM you could just flash an APK or something and install that on here. This is plastic, this bezel, I guess, not really bezel, more the edge of the device. It is plastic, and I already made a tiny little ding, which you probably can't see with the camera, but it's extremely small, and you wouldn't notice it unless I pointed it out, but that was within like an hour of owning the device, so not as durable as you think. It probably gets scratched up after a while. I believe it's Gorilla Glass. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. The bezel, I don't know if any of you have seen the reviews, but the bezel is there for a reason, so that you can hold it without having to touch the actual physical screen in different orientations, and it works really well. I noticed that. I was using it, just on the couch and just lying around, and it's pretty well. It works pretty well. On the back, it does have that soft touch feel. It's like a weird leather kind of feeling. I like that too. For a cheap device that's only $250 or $200, it's not cheap in terms of materials. I mean, yeah, this is probably gonna get scratched after a while, but that doesn't really make a huge deal on. It's not a huge deal on such a cheap device. It's got a headphone jack, which works pretty well. I used it once. I don't know. Everyone says this isn't MHL capable. I know that it's not according to the specs, but I'm betting that there's a way to do that with rooting. There probably is a chip in here to do it. If there isn't, then that's kind of they're obviously doing that for the Nexus Q, but it'd be nice if it had that, because you can use Netflix on this. You can do all kinds of stuff, and usually you can't do Netflix over HDMI on these kind of devices, but with rooting you can. And I've done that with like my older HTC Evo and other phones. I've never done it with my Nexus because I don't have an MHL cable anyways. It does have the pogo pins on here, which is nice and convenient because if you want to get a dock, I have them on my Nexus, and I have the dock for my car. I have the GSM dock, which you just pop it in and does audio and video, not video, audio and charging, and you don't have to plug any cables into your phone. It's really convenient. So they're probably going to have docks for this, for your TV, and for your car, and for charging and that kind of a thing. Well, I don't know if you would really need it in your car, but they might have an accessory for it. Who knows? I know I won't be getting one for my car. I think my Galaxy Nexus is good enough for that. And another interesting thing is they actually put on the back a little sticker here with like all the little, you know, FCC and warnings and things like that. But if you take it off, it's just like, I don't know what to do with this thing. So I put it on well, last time I put it on the front and it kind of messed up the box. So I'm going to put it on the inside of the box. And there you go. Along with that, you get a couple of things. So let's open this part. You get a quick start guide, manual, USB cable. It's just USB micro B. Oh, micro USB is probably the best term. And then you get the AC adapter. This is, I think, let me see. Well, oh, it's right here. It is probably 2.1 amps. Oh, it's 2.0 amps. So it's not as much power as an iPad, but it's still quite a bit. I think the battery in this is like 7,000 milliamps. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it's like something like 7,000, somewhere around there. And it's pretty good. I was surprised. I had it on a pretty low battery last night, and I was using it for like 2-3 hours, and then it finally asked me for a charge, and that's not bad considering it's such a large screen, and you know, well, it's not really that big compared to the 10-inch, but compared to my phone, it's large. And I mean, there is only one radio to power, which is Wi-Fi, and I guess you could consider NFC as a secondary radio, but there's no 3G, there's no 4G, there's no, well, I think there is Bluetooth on the device, but I didn't have it on. So with that, you're not going to be consuming as much power. Like on my Nexus, my Galaxy Nexus, 4G is a really killer on the battery, and 3G is, if you turn it off, it's just so much better. So, but I don't turn it off because I have 3 batteries for it. So, yeah, battery life is pretty good, and you know, the usage of the device for what I use it for, which is Chrome, and for, you know, media consumption and music, and it's asking me to blink, which is kind of strange. I didn't turn the blink detection on before. Now it's not unlocking. But yeah, for Chrome on this device, it's actually pretty good. I like it in landscape better than portrait because you get your tabs in a better view. I think I have it locked. It does have an orientation lock, which is convenient. It's not a physical lock, but honestly, I don't really need that. So I mean, the Chrome browser on here is pretty nice. I mean, I've used it on my Nexus, my Galaxy Nexus, but I honestly don't use it much on there because I usually stick with the typical web browser it comes with. It has Flash support. That's another thing on this device, is it doesn't come with Flash. You can't install it in the App Store because it's in the market, because it's Google Play Store. Sorry, because 4.1 Jelly Bean doesn't support it technically, but you can install the APK if you download it, and then you have to download an alternate web browser to do that, to actually load it, and they don't include this stock web browser anymore in 4.1, so I'm using Dolphin, which I don't normally use Dolphin, but just for Flash purposes, because I was trying to watch 90 Seconds on the Verge yesterday, and apparently they just use Flash for that. They don't use YouTube or anything, and it's not HTML5, so you have to use Flash, and it's, you know, it's just annoying because it's an older platform, but still gets used all over the web, and I just wish that they could keep supporting it, but they're really trying to push HTML5, I guess, and we'll see what happens with that. I feel like this is just going to be a problem that people are going to keep porting over the old version into the newer version of Android until it just doesn't work anymore. So, yeah, and then it also comes with some free content. It comes with a book, Born Dominion. If you ever read the Born series of books or watched the movies, that's part of that series. I think it comes with these magazines. I haven't actually looked at them. Yeah, it looks like it does. Esquire, Family Circle, Food Network, Traveler, and Popular Science. Okay, and then that's just my music from my library, from Google Play Music. Comes with Alice in Wonderland, and Comes with transformers on here, which is pretty neat. I think it's something of the moon, Dark of the Moon. You get that as well. You'd have to stream it or download it, I believe, because I tried watching it in the car yesterday and it didn't work. But if you take a look at this video, you'll see just how good the screen on this is. It's actually pretty high quality. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, it is LCD, but LCD has been actually beating OLED technology in recent years in certain aspects. Like, if you've seen the HTC One X, the display on that is just amazing. I'll just fast forward this a little bit and you can see real quick. This is HD.
Green ostrich. Oh my god.
And the speakers are
This is a secret.
pretty loud. You won't know from the camera, but pretty loud.
Allow me to please introduce to you two of NASA's.
Yeah, so that's the media capabilities of the device. Overall, I would rate this device probably 8.5 or a 9. The only things that really I have a gripe about, one is, this is typical of Google and their Nexus devices, is there's no memory card slot, no micro SD card slot. That's pretty annoying because, yeah, it's 16 gigs, but if you want to ever expand the storage or put something on there quickly or take something off there quickly, put it in a computer with a memory card reader or with an adapter or whatever, it's just a hassle. You have to get a cable. I find it easier to have a micro SD card slot in there all the time. So that's one thing. The other thing is the MHL/HDMI, the lack of that. That's kind of annoying too, because if you want to put it on your TV or anything like that, you really, out of the box, don't have that feature. I'm guessing there's a way to do it with a custom ROM and a kernel or something, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into it on XDA or anything or any other forums yet. So I have to look into that one, but it should have it out of the box. I think that nobody's gonna buy the Nexus Q, honestly, for $300. It's way too expensive for what it does. If it was $99, I would definitely consider it, because when they were announcing it and I was watching Google I/O, I was like, oh, this is. I was thinking in my head, you know, this looks pretty compelling. If this comes out for $100, I might actually buy this. $300. I mean, I know what Google's trying to do. They're trying to get hardware made in the US and they're trying to push that. But you got to start out somewhere, and I understand that. So hopefully with the next iteration, or maybe a price cut, or maybe the holiday season, it's going to come out where it's affordable, or it's, well, it's affordable for most people, but I think that it's not compelling enough to spend $300 on. Maybe they'll do something with it to make it worth $300. You know, software or something, because it technically is a Galaxy Nexus in terms of hardware. I just hope they can make it better, maybe with software. I don't really know, because Google TV kind of flopped too with the Logitech box, and those went on clearance for $100. I kind of wish I jumped on one of those. Those are good too. But yeah, now I'm rambling. So. The device, like I said, it's an excellent device. It's lacking memory cards and it lacks the HDMI or video out, but where it lacks is not really a big deal. It's really where it shines is in its value. You get a lot for your money. They're basically selling it at cost. You're getting a super powerful processor, plenty of storage for now. 16 gigs is not bad, but you know, if you want to put a lot of movies on here or whatever, you can't. That's what they're trying to get away from. They want you to buy them through Google Play and stream them or rent them, or I don't think they're trying to push Netflix, but that's an opportunity to use Netflix, and I have Netflix. But unfortunately, it's Wi-Fi only, so if you want to use it anywhere where you normally watch a movie, other than like, you know, like on a plane, they don't usually have Wi-Fi, and if they do, it's expensive. In a car, the only way to do that is with tethering, and that is expensive, and not only that, it's very battery consuming. I use tethering, and when I use it, it just kills my battery. And I have 3 batteries, and even then, it's just a hassle because it runs through 3 batteries. I literally used it yesterday for a couple hours, and it just ran through all my batteries. So that is another thing about these Wi-Fi tablets. That's just Wi-Fi tablets in general, really, not just the Nexus. So it would be nice if they offered something with a 3G, 4G option on here for maybe a little bit more money, or on contract. That would be awesome. can't think of anything else that I have any issues with the device. I've only used it for a day, but based on my experience, I think you're going to be happy with this if you want to read. I read tech news a lot, blogs, The Verge, that kind of thing. I like to watch videos, listen to music a lot. I listen to a ton of music on Google Music. Basic web browsing, games. If you want to play games, this is pretty nice too. It's not too clunky. It's asking me to blink to unlock this thing. It's not working with the blinking, but thinks I'm dead, I guess. But anywho, yeah. If you want something for media consumption, this is a great device. If you want to create content on here, I think you're going to be looking for something else, because the keyboard on here in landscape takes up quite a bit of the screen. I can show you that too. So I mean, typing on here, like documents and things, probably not the best use of it. I mean, see, you got the keyboard and it takes up about half the screen. You could use a Bluetooth keyboard too, but I don't know. I feel like if you want something for productivity and entertainment, you want to look at something like the Transformer Prime or the newer Primes with the newer screens, because you do have that dock available with an extra battery and a full keyboard, and it basically makes it an ultrabook / tablet. That's better for productivity, which is why I was looking at something like that, because for school that could be useful. I do have a laptop though, so I don't know. I mean, at only $200 or $250, even if I have this and a laptop, it's still a good option. So yeah. If you have any questions for me or about the tablet whatsoever, just put them in the comments or message me, whatever you want. And yeah, that's the unboxing of the, I keep wanting to say Samsung, the Asus Nexus 7 tablet.